I'm on the other side of the loch this morning at what is known as Newton Shore. Sheep are all out grazing, and I've parked down there because I'm walking up that track to my friend's house because he has some apple trees. So I've arrived at my friend's house and having a look around his little orchard, and he's planted this very nice little conference pear, doing very well, and a little cherry tree, very young but doing very well. And then we have the apples, and as you can see, most of them are quite old. I would say about 30 years old, and I've not had much work done to them, certainly not recently. And we've got a lot of suckers, and we've got a lot of water shoots, so we're going to have a prune. Well, that was a successful hour. So we've done this whole first row. We've taken out some of these what's the word? Suckers, that's the word. Taking out some of the suckers, let a lot more air in, taking a lot of dead wood out, shaped the trees a bit. Much better, look at the light. That is so much better. So Lawrence and I have decided we're going to do this again, so I shall wait for him to get in touch. But what a pleasant time we had, just having a natter, putting the trees to rights. Excellent, and very healthy too. Well, I'm just having a breather on the way back from Lawrence's, and we spent a lovely hour pruning, and it's about a mile back down this track to where I've parked the car, because there's no way you're bringing a car up here unless it's a four-wheel drive. And look, the sun's coming out. There's the Arran distillery down there, you can just see it. And I'm on the lookout for golden eagles, which apparently you can see on the top of that hill there. But not today. So I'm going back to the car, home for a spot of lunch. So, Lochranza, charming. We've had no power now for a few hours, and we've had a message from the power company to say they hope the power will be back on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Okay, so we're at Lochranza ferry terminal, and this is as far as I'm going, and I don't know if you can see, but that's Newton Shore, and further out it's just charming. So John reckons the waves out there are about 10 foot. And we've just walked from our side of the village up to here, and there is a lot of damage. Walls down, trees down. roofs off the sheds. Hopefully everybody's okay. And we've had the power company on, because right now at 2:30 in the afternoon we haven't had power for a couple of hours, and they're saying that the earliest that they expect to get the power on will be tomorrow, that is Saturday, about 7 PM in the evening. So I would imagine, like many others in Arran, the contents of our freezers are toast. So someone's in for a nasty surprise. I think the wind has forced that tree through that wall. It certainly wasn't like that yesterday. So we're just looking towards the castle, and the wind's dying down the whole time. We've just been out for about 15 minutes for a walk, and it is beginning to die back. The storm surge in the sea took a wee bit longer, but it does seem to be calming down. At least it is on this part of the island. So just before I go back in, apart from the odd gust, it has calmed down. The sheep are no fools. They're all grazing very close into the lee of this hill. And we're going in. And I think tonight's culinary delight may be a baked potato wrapped in foil and cooked in the wood burner, or a cup of soup made with hot water heated in a pan on top of the wood burner. We know how to live. So we're in Lawrence's orchard, where we were the other day doing pruning, and Storm Eowyn has unfortunately wreaked havoc. So this is a big top heavy apple tree, and it has come out the ground considerably. I mean, this 3/4 of that is out the ground. But what we're going to do with the plan is to try and save these, is to reduce the top weight of that by about 1/3 of the branches in. So all of the branches will have 1/3 removed, and that will reduce the weight, so it will make it easier for us to stand it up, and it will also prevent any further wind, well, for the next few years hopefully, from pushing the tree over. So Lawrence is going to have a look at how we can get a vehicle in to be able to get a chain on this tree and pull it upright, but in the meantime we need to remove about 1/3 of that weight off. And then once we get it upright, it has to be anchored. So that nice tree over there is a good anchor point. It's nice and solid, and we'll just have to put some stakes in, probably over here where these rocks are, to try and anchor behind it. But sadly it's not the only tree, so there's this one as well, and you can see they've all gone from the same direction. The wind has come up there, and over there is the sea, so it's come in from the north, and this one's gone as well, but not as badly. So again, once we get this first one up and the branches out the way, we can try that one. You can see it's not been insubstantial damage. I mean, the size of these branches, there's another tree uprooted there. I think that one's away, it's nearly right out of the ground. And you might remember from the earlier bit of video that I showed you from Lawrence's orchard, that's his newly planted cherry tree, absolutely unscathed. But the pear that he planted is in there, and you can just about see the stake for the pear, but we don't know until we remove all this. So there's the stake, and we don't know if that pear tree has survived. So we'll see once all this has been removed. Just awful, absolutely awful, but we're going to try and remedy the situation, so that will be a future video. Storm Eowyn, thanks very much. The Isle of Arran just loved you. So there's the wee bus that comes from Brodick to Lochranza, and it's just gone over the bridge there, and that is where the river runs underneath, and there's a wee team of people trying to clear the fallen trees and the dead timber that is in and around the river, because we don't want an incident. And as you can see from the top of the hill there, it's very cold and the weather is coming in, and this afternoon is not to be pleasant. So many trees down, so many trees down, absolute destruction. And the sheep and the deer have all come down off the hills because they want to be warm and cosy. And John and I are going home because we want to be warm and cosy too. Morning everyone, and I'm out in my garden because I think I have to look at what we're planning to do here. So you can see it's a bright sunny day. It's still quite cold here at the end of January, but I need to kind of get myself organised. So I hope you enjoy the video and it gives you some ideas if you're setting up a new garden yourself. So the first thing is our decking area, which is protected a little bit by some bushes here. In the main, rhododendrons and buddleias, and I'm assuming, because I don't know, because I've only been in this house a few weeks now, I'm assuming that the rhododendrons are basic purple rhododendron ponticum, which is basically a weed in Scotland. But there's a few other interesting things. There's a Choicea ternata, which is Mexican orange blossom. That's that greeny one there. There's a Photinia red robin. Not particularly keen on that. There's a spirea here, which might be pink princess, but who knows? I'd need to wait until it blooms. And the decking is a good feature because it gives us somewhere to sit in the summer, but underneath the decking is our septic tank. So there's not an awful lot we can do about that. What else have I got? Little lawned area. So I'll need to put something there because I need somewhere to dry my washing. Because even in Scotland, we do get some days where I can hang washing out, and there's nothing like laundry that has been hung out in the fresh air. So you can see we've got a fence which separates us from the community land. It's a wee bit windy. And we need the fence because the deer and the sheep are over there sometimes, and I think John will need to see to this fence because the posts are rotten. So we need at least 3 new fence posts, and once he's done that, I would like to utilise the area in front of the fence to plant a couple of apple trees, because every garden I've had has apple trees, and they will get a little bit of sun there. Not a lot of protection from the wind, but they will get a little bit of sun there. This area here's a wee bit of a dead space. And I'm not sure what I will put here. I may put a small plastic greenhouse that will enable me possibly to grow some tomatoes in and capture some sunlight. It needs a wee bit of tidying up. Again, I've got a Photinia, red robin, and a hebe. So there's a bit of scope. Who knows what I'll do with this? But I need somewhere to have some vegetables. So this might end up being my veg area, which will be interesting, because I'll need to decide what I'm doing with the gravel that's there. Through the gate, of course, is our parking area and wood store. So the wood store's got to stay. As we no longer have large bits of land, I don't think we'll be keeping the trailer. So we'll see. I have to discuss with John, because he would like a boat, because the loch there offers possibilities for a little bit of fishing. So we shall see. So that is basically the front garden. So round to the back of the house we go up a level, and you'll see why we go up a level shortly. Through the gate, another wood store next to the house, which is a necessity for the wood burners, and then we have the back garden. Wow. So as you can see from this angle, it's really steep, it's quite small, it's very dark, it doesn't get the sun really at all. Might get a little bit of sun in the middle of summer, in the middle of the day, and it is basically bedrock and some of these wild rhododendrons and brambles. There's a bit of bracken in there as well. So to try and transform this into a thing of beauty is going to be a bit of a challenge. But again, John's going to have a look at fixing that fence. So we'll probably leave this to last. So that is the before videos of our garden here in Lochranza. So I'm in the office and I've just ordered some apple tree rootstocks, which should arrive in the next week or so. And once I get them, I will do some grafting of varieties onto them in order to create some espalier apples. So watch out for that video, and I hope you enjoy it and find it useful. It's a really cheap way to grow your own apple trees. So rootstocks are MM106, which should make a semi-vigorous tree, and once they've been grafted, in about 6 weeks time after that, I should be able to start training them.